Hello there, I am Tommy Taco, and today I will be quick managing the All-Star game. I went and looked at the roster to see if any Yankees made the team, and unfortunately, the first place Yanks only have two representatives on the team, both pitchers, Garrett Cole and James Paxton. No Yankee batters. There were some suspect selections, to say the least, but I'm not going to be bitter. I'm just going to use that to fuel us the rest of the season. We'll be quick managing today. It'll be Chris Sale on the bump, a 12-3 record with a 1.37 ERA on the season. He'll be opposed by Max Scherzer of the National League. Let's see here. I'm going to manage the American League. As you can see here, going through the lineup, there is no Yankees besides Cole and Paxton. Quite disappointing. I thought we could get Luke Voigt in there or Aaron Judge. We had plenty of players that were worthy, and as I look through some of these batters, don't get me wrong, some of these gentlemen have had great seasons, but and I know you need to be represented by every team in baseball, but I mean, Jose Iglesias batting .255 with 7 home runs, right? I've never particularly cared for that rule in MLB because if you're an all-star, you're an all-star. Not every team has one. But it is what it is. But so we'll quick manage this game today. Let's see. Since I'm going to be quick managing for the American League, I want to make the best lineup I can. We're going to move Nelson Cruz up. That's for sure. And that's how we'll roll today against Max Scherzer, who has 17 wins in the first half, a 17-3 record for the defending champion Nationals with a 2.22 ERA. Very impressive from Mr. Scherzer. This will be the lineup we have today to combat Max Scherzer. We're going to roll with Tim Anderson batting first at shortstop, Jose Altuve, the second baseman, batting second. Anthony Rendon is the third baseman, batting third. Mike Trout, the center fielder and the best player in baseball, batting cleanup. The 5-hole hitter is the American League home run leader, Nelson Cruz. Batting sixth is a left fielder, Yordan Alvarez. Batting seventh is a designated hitter, J.D. Martinez. Batting eighth is the resurgent Carlos Santana of the Cleveland Indians, playing first. And batting ninth is the catcher, Mitch Garver. Coming up next.
Play ball.
Okay, Scherzer takes the bump. He'll be facing Tim Anderson, .288 with 20 home runs on the season. And here's the delivery. A single from Anderson to bring up Altuve, who follows with a single, and the American League are cooking with gas as there's runners at first and second with no outs, and the 3, 4, 5 hitters coming up to bat. Anthony Rendon digs in. Here's the pitch. Another single, and the AL All-Stars are on the board 1-0. Mike Trout steps into the box. Scherzer with the sign, and the pitch. A 3-run home run, and Max Scherzer is being lit up like a Christmas tree as the American League has scored all 4 of their batters and lead the NL 4-0. Nelson Cruz steps in now. He grounds out to bring up Yordan Alvarez. 28 home runs on the season for the Astros. He flies out to bring up Boston slugger J.D. Martinez. An impressive .315 average with 23 home runs on the season. And here's the pitch. He strikes out, but the AL takes the lead in the top of the first, 4-0. NL batting, bottom of the first now, Ronald Acuna Jr., followed by Justin Turner and former league MVP Christian Yelich. Sale strikes out Acuna. Sale now gets the sign. Here's the pitch to Turner. Turner strikes out to bring up the lefty Christian Yelich, who flies out to end the inning. The NL All-Stars are retired 1-2-3. Top of two, batting for the AL, Carlos Santana, followed by Garver and Anderson. And here's the pitch. Santana strikes out, batting left-handed, to bring up Mitch Garver. Garver flies out, back to the top of the order with Tim Anderson. He walks to bring up the .282 hitting Jose Altuve, who grounds out to end the inning. Nothing doing for the AL All-Stars in the second. Bottom two now for the NL, Cody Bellinger, followed by Nolan Arenado and Manny Machado. Sale gets his pitch, and here's the delivery. A single off the lefty hitting Bellinger. Arenado digs in. He strikes out to bring up Manny Machado. And Bellinger gets picked off by at first by Chris Sale. Now there is 2 outs for Manny Machado, and here's the pitch. He grounds out to end the inning, so Sale picks Bellinger off first and throws another scoreless inning, and the AL leads 4-0. Top three now for the American League. Rendon, Trout, and Cruz will be in the box.
Your attention, please.
Jacob deGrom will be coming into the game.
Jacob deGrom.
He's 10-4 on the season with a 2.48 ERA. And here's the pitch. Rendon greets deGrom with a single. Mike Trout strikes out to bring up Nelson Cruz. Cruz flies out to bring up Alvarez. And Alvarez strikes out to end the inning. Now Chris Sale pitched 2 scoreless innings, only giving up 1 hit. Now it's time to make a call to the bullpen. We're going to bring in our very own James Paxton to pitch. Paxton will be facing the catcher from the Cubs, Wilson Contreras, Braves first baseman Freddie Freeman, and Lourdes Gurriel Jr. here in the bottom of the third. Paxton gets a sign, and here's the pitch. Strikes out Contreras. Strikes out Freeman, and now Lourdes Gurriel, who's representing the Brewers, batting 300 with 20 home runs and 60 RBIs. That's the 9-hole hitter. Here's the pitch. And Paxton strikes out the side in the third. 4-0 after 3. Top 4 now batting the American League. Martinez, Santana, and Mitch Garver due up. Walker Buehler comes into the game now for the National League. 16-2 with a minuscule 1.96 ERA. He gets his sign. Martinez waits for the pitch, and here it is. And he grounds out to bring up Santana, who strikes out. Now Mitch Garver, the catcher of the Twins. And here's the payoff pitch. And he grounds out to end the inning. Nothing doing for the AL in the fourth. Bottom 4 now for the National League. Top of the order, Acuna Jr., Turner, and Yelich due up. We're going to make a pitching change here. An inning is good enough out of Mr. Paxton. Garrett Cole will not be pitching today, as he will get the start in the Yankees' first game in St. Louis. I don't really want to use any of these starting pitchers just in case they are pitching for their respective clubs. Let's bring in, let's see, how about Wendelken? J.B. Wendelken, 5-4 with a 2.38 ERA, or 2.32, excuse me, ERA on the season. He'll be facing Acuna Jr., Turner, and Yelich. And here's the pitch. Acuna Jr. pops out. Turner flies out. And Yelich flies out as the National League All-Stars go down in order. Top 5 now for the American League. Anderson, Altuve, and Rendon due up. They will be facing none other than the lefty for the hometown Dodgers, Clayton Kershaw, 12-3 with a 3.01 ERA on the season. Another impressive campaign for Clayton. And here's the pitch. Anderson flies out. Altuve pops out. And Anthony Rendon goes big fly, and the AL All-Stars now lead the NL 5-0. Rendon's teammate Mike Trout digs in, .337 on the season with 25 home runs and 71 RBIs. Here's the pitch. He walks to bring up Nelson Cruz, who so Kershaw is looking a little shaky here. And in steps in the left-handed slugger, Yordan Alvarez. And he strikes out to end the inning. But the AL All-Stars pick up another run and lead the NL 5-0. We'll make a call to the bullpen. We will bring in Jimenez. Joe Jimenez of the Detroit Tigers, 2-3 with a 3.48 ERA on the season. He'll be facing Cody Bellinger, Nolan Arenado, and Manny Machado. Jimenez gets the sign and walks Bellinger to bring up Arenado, who strikes out. Manny Machado digs in now. Here's the pitch from Jimenez. And Machado singles, so there's runners at first and second with one out for Cubs catcher Wilson Contreras, who has 18 dingers on the season. Here's the delivery, and he hits into an inning-ending double play. 5-0 American League after 5. J.D. Martinez, Carlos Santana, and Mitch Garver due up for the American League All-Stars. I would imagine the next time through the order we'll start to see some substitutions. Let's see who is on the bump for the National League. Noah Syndergaard comes into the game of the New York Metropolitans, 8-4 with a 2.23 ERA on the season. He'll be facing Martinez, and here's the pitch. Martinez greets Thor with a double. Santana, batting left-handed, digs in. He matches a double, and now the American League leads 6-0. Mitch Garver digs in. He singles, and Noah Syndergaard, woo-wee, looking like all the stars in the sky lit up as the American League is taking it to Syndergaard. Let's do a little reset here. Anderson, Altuve, and Rendon will be due up now against Noah Syndergaard. Anderson flies out. Altuve singles to bring up the 3-hole hitter, Rendon, who hits into an inning-ending double play. But they pick up 2 more runs, and the AL leads the NL 7-0. We'll do a pitching change here and bring in Brad Hand, 1-2 with a 3.15 ERA on the season. He'll be facing Freddie Freeman, Lourdes Gurriel, and Acuna Jr. Freeman flies out. Gurriel grounds out. But Ronald Acuna Jr. goes big fly, and the NL strikes back and only trails by 6, 7-1. Let's see if the National League can mount a comeback here, as Justin Turner digs in with 2 outs, opposing Brad Hand, and Hand gets him to fly out to end the inning. Mike Trout is due up. We have a plethora of pinch hitters. Might as well start using them. How about center field? We'll give him a little Malik Smith.
Your attention, please. Pinch hitting for the American League.
Josh Hader comes in to face Malik Smith. Josh Hader is 5-2 with a 1.40 ERA. Malik Smith grounds out to bring up Nelson Cruz. We'll pinch hit for Nelson. Get an outfielder in there. Mitch Haniger, who participated in the Home Run Derby, will now be batting for Nelson Cruz.
Your attention, please. Now
and he grounds out to bring up Yordan Alvarez. And we will pinch hit for him also. Try and get everybody in here. Franmil Reyes of the Cleveland Indians, 283 with 25 home runs, will now be batting. And he strikes out to end the inning. 7-1 American League going into the bottom of the 7th. Pitching change here for the American League as Nick Anderson will now come into the game. 1-2 with a 3.71 ERA on the season. He'll be facing Yelich, Bellinger, and Arenado. Excuse me, he'll be facing David Peralta of the Arizona Diamondbacks. 296 with 17 home runs and 53 RBIs, and here's the delivery. He greets Anderson with a single to bring up Cody Bellinger, who is pinch hit for by the All-Star from the Cubs, Chris Bryant. Bryant hits into a double play, so 2 outs now for the Rockies third baseman, who's having a fine season with a 3.03 average, 24 home runs, and 56 RBIs. And after all that, they replace him with Mike Moustakas, who's batting .299 with 25 home runs and 76 RBIs for the Cincinnati Reds. Moustakas also a participant in the Home Run Derby that was won by Max Muncy. And here's the pitch. He struck him out. 7-1 AL after 7. Top 8 now. J.D. Martinez due up against Josh Hader. Alex Bregman comes into the game, .333 with 17 home runs on the season.
Designated hitter, Alex Bregman.
And he will be opposed by Giovanni Gallegos.
Now pitching for the Nationals, number 65, Giovanni Gallegos.
Yes, Giovanni Gallegos, 2-1 with a 2.41 ERA on the season. He'll be facing Bregman, Santana, and Garver. Bregman walks. Santana's due up. And Daniel Vogelbach will be pinch hitting for him. Vogelbach, 255 with 16 home runs on the season. He strikes out to bring up the catcher, Mitch Garver, who will be pinch hit for Austin Romine. Romine, the former Yankee, batting .270 with 8 home runs on the season. He flies out. 2 outs and a runner at first for Tim Anderson, who will be lifted for Elvis Andrus of the Texas Rangers, 311 with 13 home runs on the season. And here's the pitch. He reaches on an error, so runners at first and second with 2 outs now for the American League. Jose Altuve is due to bat. However, he will not be batting as Brandon Lowe comes into the game from the Rays, 247 with 17 home runs on the season. And he strikes out to end the inning. Bottom 8 now for the NL All-Stars. The American League will send Liam Hendricks to the hill to face Machado, Contreras, and Freeman. Here's the delivery from Hendricks, who is 1-0 with a 2.61 ERA. But the National League calls for a pinch hitter. JT Realmuto digs in of the Phillies, 242 with 9 home runs. He flies out to bring up Contreras. He flies out. That'll mean Freddie Freeman comes to the plate, having a fine season for the Braves with a 328 average and 23 home runs. And here's the pitch. He struck him out. 7-1 AL after 8. Top of 9 now for the American League. Rendon is due to bat. However, we're going to put in Vladdy Guerrero Jr., who is batting .231 with 9 home runs and 29 RBIs. Not all that impressive from Vladdy Jr. However, he is an all-star, and he will be facing none other than Shane Green of the Atlanta Braves, who is 3-1 with a 1.93 ERA on the season. Here's the pitch. He walks Vladdy Jr. to bring up Malik Smith. Malik Smith strikes out to bring up Mitch Haniger. Let's see what we have left for pinch hitting options. We only have one batter left. That's the catcher, Sally Perez. So Mitch Haniger will dig in now against Shane Green. And hit into an inning-ending double play. We're going to make a substitution and get Sally P into the game.
A defensive change for the American League. Now, number
We will also get
a defensive change for the
Iglesias into the game at shortstop.
number 11.
And then we'll end the game with Twins reliever Taylor Rogers, who leads the American League in saves.
Now pitching for the American League. Number 55, Taylor Rogers.
Taylor Rogers 1-1 with a 2.29 ERA on the season. He'll be facing Gurriel, Acuna, and Turner. And here's the pitch. Lourdes Gurriel greets the lefty Taylor Rogers with a single. Jonathan Villar pinch hitting now. He draws a walk, so now there's 2 on and no outs for Justin Turner. I spoke too soon, as he's lifted for the pinch hitter, Brandon Crawford, 281 and 14 home runs for the San Francisco Giants. He singles to bring up Peralta, Josh Bell, who is batting .289 with 10 home runs on the season. He singles to bring up, I don't want to say it, let's see if Chris Bryant bats. No, he's lifted for Bryce Harper, who's batting .262 with 20 home runs on the season. And here's the pitch. He walks, and now the bases are juiced for the slugger from the Cincinnati Reds, Mike Moustakas. Can they get to Rogers here in the 9th? Moustakas goes down on strikes. 2 outs, bases juiced for Realmuto, who is lifted for the Cardinals' legendary catcher, Yadier Molina. Can Rogers get out of the jam? He sure can, and the AL has defeated the NL in the 2020 Major League Baseball All-Star Game. The player of the game was Angels third baseman Anthony Rendon, who was 3 for 4 with 2 runs, a home run, and 2 RBIs. That will do it for today's episode. Again, the American League defeats the National League 7-2. Thank you for tuning in. Our next broadcast will be one of these 2 games against the Cardinals. Looking ahead, I will play this game, the first game back after the All-Star break, and then I will pick a game in this week, probably the Angels, and then this week is Mets and Red Sox, so I might have to play 2 in this week. But that'll do it for this week's episode. I will be facing the Cardinals in the next episode. Thank you for tuning in, and take care.